Hey there everyone. So this video is about 5 self-love secrets that can change your life. And I will just go ahead and tell you now that the 5th one was the hardest one for me to learn personally. So I'm Elena and let's just get right into it. All right, self-love secret number 1, forgiveness. So everyone has heard over and over and over again how important forgiveness is. It feels like it's drilled into us from childhood, at school, or if anybody was religious, it got drilled into you at church, things of that nature. But it's true. It really is that important. Forgiveness of people who have wronged you in the past is incredibly important for your inner peace, because holding grudges and being angry or upset over someone who hurt you and refusing to let it go, that negative energy, that pain just builds up inside of you, and it only hurts you. It doesn't hurt them. So forgive them for your sake. Move on, if only to heal yourself and to help your own inner peace. Forgiveness is so, so important. The other side of forgiveness that most people don't really talk about as much is forgiving yourself. So maybe there are situations in the past, things that you did or said, or situations that you didn't handle very well, mistakes that you made, that you may not even know that you have built up resentment and anger toward yourself, and maybe you do. So going inside and realizing that pain and that weight that you have over that situation, you need to let go and forgive yourself. And I know that there are some people out there who think that whatever it is that they did, however they handled a situation, whatever they said, some people think that it's not forgivable. You're wrong. It is forgivable. Those things are in the past. They will stay there. They're going to stay in the past. There is nothing that you can do to change it now. And you absolutely deserve forgiveness. You deserve inner peace. And you deserve to be able to love yourself. So you need to forgive yourself for whatever that is, because you deserve that forgiveness and you can't change it now. All you can do is move forward with your life and try to be the very best you that you can be. All right, so self-love secret number 2 is go within. Sometimes there are things in our lives, character traits, habits, things about ourselves that are formed during really difficult time periods in our lives, darker time periods. And a lot of times they're things that we don't care very much for, or we don't like to acknowledge or think about very much. Those things need to be brought into the light. You need to get in there and you need to examine those things. They're not always bad things. They might lead to bad tendencies, or some of those habits and whatnot that you've formed to cope with certain things that have happened to you, different traumas, pain in your past. Those things that formed, those are a part of you. They make you who you are, even if it's something that you don't like or you consider to be a flaw. A lot of the time, those things can be changed into things that work for you, for your good. This is sometimes called shadow work. Some people like to call it shadow work, where you examine some of the less than attractive character traits and things about yourself and things from your past that make you who you are, the darker aspects of who you are. So some people like to call it shadow work. And it's not just examining those traits and all of those things, it's also thinking about the things that caused them. No one likes to do that. I despise it. It's one of my least favorite activities to do, is to visit, a time in my past where I experienced horrible trauma and pain and abuse. It's never fun to go inside and feel those feelings that you felt at the time, because it's like going through it all over again in your mind, and you have a horrible pain in your heart. But doing that, examining those things, bringing them into the light, you're letting it know that it doesn't have power over you anymore. When you bring it into the light, when you examine it, the more you do it, the less power that it has over you and your life. And that is so important. And all that does is empower you to take back control of your feelings and your life. It gives you such power to know that you can overcome those past traumas by examining them. And sometimes, I know this is going to sound a little kooky, but a great exercise that I have found, it sounds a little weird, but it is having a conversation with your younger self. I have done it a couple of times, more than a few times. And I can tell you, it has been such a healing experience for me. It is very difficult to reach in to that younger self that you were, who experienced those things and those traumas and that abuse, and to get in there and to really tell yourself, that younger self that experienced such pain, that you are okay now, and that you made it through, and that you were always there for you. Even when you felt completely alone, you were there for yourself, and you are through it now, on the other side, victorious. And it is such a healing experience when you come to that realization. So that is secret number 2, which was going within. All right, so secret number 3 for your self-love. Check your emotions. So this is a huge one, a super significant one, and it was a game changer for me, because I used to be the kind of person who let her emotions completely rule her life, my life. And I can tell you from experience, it is a miserable way to live. Just letting your emotions make you do impulsive things that you always end up regretting later. Everyone experiences emotion, and everyone from time to time lets themselves get carried away by, some sort of emotion, especially if it's grief, around some sort of a loss or a betrayal. Sometimes emotion gets the better of us, regardless of what we do. But there are people out there that were much like me when I was younger, who let those emotions control you. And that is absolutely no way to live. So whenever you get into one of those situations where you feel that emotion bubbling up inside of you, and you just know that it is going to take over and control whatever decision you're about to make, check yourself. Take a couple of deep, cleansing, steadying breaths in. Just do it a few times, and then think whatever reaction you're about to have. Think about if it's coming from a place of emotion, or is it coming from a place of logic? And I promise you, even though that sounds like such a tedious process when you're about to make a decision, especially one that is done in the height of some sort of emotional situation, it seems like a really tedious process and something that you might not be used to. But as everyone says, it only takes 21 days to make a habit. So I promise, after a little while of stopping yourself before you make an impulsive decision based on your emotions, and breathing, and everyone in the world of self-love and self-care and wellness in general and law of attraction and manifestation will tell you how important breath work is. Stopping and breathing and pausing to take those cleansing breaths is going to do wonders for you. And then eventually, after forming this habit, it won't even be a thing that you have to do anymore. You'll just do it automatically. You won't even have to think about it. Every single time it comes to the point where you feel like your emotions are going to bubble over, you will check yourself, and you will be able to come from a place of logic rather than a place of pure emotion. So just do the work, the breath work. All right. So that was secret number 3, which was check your emotions. And now secret number 4, make time. I know that this seems like something that could be impossible for some people, because everyone's schedules get caught up and mixed up in like work. And if you have children, their schedules can be hectic, a significant other schedule, you might have family events, or you might just be a person who works a ton and has an extremely demanding work schedule. But all of those things, much like mine, are excuses. They're excuses because most people don't realize how important it is for your relationship with yourself, your self-love, and your self-care to make time for yourself. Make time to do that thing that you really love to do, that hobby that you haven't picked up and haven't touched in forever, or some sort of self-care, rather than taking the millionth shower, take a bath if that's something that you really love to do. You would be shocked at how much better you feel and how much more in connection with yourself you will feel if you just take that time to do something that you love or you want to do. And I know what you're gonna say, or some people anyway. Oh, I don't really have any hobbies, and I don't really have I don't like baths. I don't, whatever. I don't really have anything. I love my work. Okay, that's great. You need to try something though. Maybe there's a class that you've always wanted to take, or maybe you have a bike that has been sitting in your garage for what feels like 10 million years, or in storage, or some sort of a thing that you thought might be a really cool idea some way down the road, like a cooking class. You never know what taking that time for yourself is going to do for you. Maybe you'll find out that you really love cooking and you're really good at it. Maybe that leads someday to you making a cooking channel on YouTube, or for, writing a cookbook, or, say you just start journaling, just start writing down stuff. Maybe someday you discover, oh, wow, I actually really love writing. Like, I enjoy this. This feels great. Maybe you write a book in the future. Maybe you start a blog. Who knows? You never know what branching out and making time for yourself, what kind of discovery that is going to lead to. It could lead to you finding something out about yourself that completely changes your whole life. And I know that it probably sounds really far-fetched to you, but I promise you it isn't. Because something exactly like that happened to me. And it's the reason I'm standing here in front of you or your computer or phone screen today. All right, so that was secret number 4, which was make time. So as promised, secret number 5. Stop people pleasing. So this one was not only the hardest one for me, but it was my biggest breakthrough. So I'm about to get real personal with you here. But I had a huge problem with this one. That is the way that I have always been. I have always been a person who tried to make other people happy. Didn't really think about myself or what I liked or what I wanted to do, what I wanted to be. And it led to some really, really horribly destructive habits, like lying to make myself seem cooler or better or to make people happy, and just doing all sorts of things that I didn't even really like or want to do, had no desire to do them, and then that led to some even more unhealthy behavior, like saying yes to things that could actually hurt me. And it just snowballed and snowballed and snowballed until one day I woke up and I looked in the mirror and I realized that I did not recognize myself at all. And not only did I not recognize myself, but I realized I didn't like myself very much either. So after coming to that sort of a realization, I did an even bigger look around at the rest of my life and realized that all of these people that I had spent all of this time trying to make them happy or impress them or, be whatever it is that they wanted me to be, none of them really cared about me at all. I looked around and I realized I didn't really have anyone that truly cared. Anyone's a little extreme. I had a couple. But for the most part, most of the people that I had been working so hard to please or to impress, none of them cared about my feelings or what I wanted or who I am at all. So that led to some very difficult decisions, which was cutting away things and people in my life that no longer served. And then it took an even harder turn towards myself and realizing that I needed to learn to care about myself enough to put my wants, my needs, my desires, and my opinions first. And that is so important. It is huge to make sure that everything that you're doing, everything that you're saying is what you think, is what you want, not just to make someone else happy. You know, it's one of those situations where you get into it and you start to think like, or you should think about the other people that you're trying to please or you're trying to make happy. Maybe you know, go see some movie that you actually had absolutely no desire to see. Well, you just wasted like an hour and a half to 2 hours of your life watching something you didn't want to watch. Your time is precious. And then the other part of that is wondering if that person that you wanted to make happy by going to see that movie, stop yourself and think, would that person do that for you? Would that person really go see a movie they didn't have any desire to see? Or maybe go to some restaurant that they didn't want to go to? Or try something that they didn't want to try or they don't like? Would they do that for you? Sometimes the answer is yes. A lot of times though, the answer is no. No, they wouldn't. And nobody wants to hear that. Nobody wants to hear that somebody that they care about or they, you know, care about their opinion or care about as a person. You know, nobody wants to hear that that person wouldn't do the same for you. But a lot of the time, that is the truth. So it is so important to make sure that everything that you do, everything that comes out of your mouth is coming from a place of authenticity, of who you truly are. Care about what you want and your opinions, and that will completely change your life if you're the kind of person that is a huge people pleaser, much like myself. Come from a place of authenticity every time, and I promise you, the people, the good people, the people that are supposed to be in your life, they will be there. They will come, you know, and you will meet the kind of people that you want to be around. Your true family or your true group of friends that is supposed to be there. When you are your authentic self, you will attract those people into your life, and I promise you, it will change everything. So that was number 5. I'm gonna give you a bonus. I'm not giving it a number though, because I personally kind of think it bleeds into all of the other ones. So I'm gonna call it a booster. And that is to treat yourself with kindness. It is so important through the entire process of self-love and self-discovery and, you know, all of this where you have to really examine yourself, you know, go deep within yourself and get started on this journey, because sometimes there's a lot of repair involved if it's something you haven't been working on, like myself. So treating yourself with kindness is so important, because this relationship that you have with yourself is the only relationship that is going to be with you from birth until the end. You will never, ever stop working on this relationship with yourself, and you need to make sure that you are treating yourself with such kindness, because all of the things that you're going to be looking into, all of those past traumas, you know, anything that you have done in your past that you consider to be mistakes, or all of that stuff is painful to look back at. You know, nobody wants to think about the time that they did things wrong or did things that they don't like very much now, or examine things from their past where they were hurt or abused or any of those things. Be kind to yourself through this process. You know, go slowly and just treat yourself with such love. And it will do such wonders for this relationship that you are working on and you are building and will be for the rest of your life. So there you have it. Treat yourself with kindness. So that is the end of all of my favorite self-love secrets that I have. And so I just have a few last minute things to say to wrap up today. First, if any of this whatsoever resonated with you, please let me know down in the comments and give this video a like so that I know that you really loved it. Maybe not loved, but because this is my first video, so I know it's probably a little choppy. And also just wanted to let you know kind of a little bit of what to expect from me going forward. So on Tuesdays, I plan to start a really fun thing called Pick a Tea and Tarot Tuesdays, where I'll have different types of tea to choose from, and each tea will be attached to a tarot card for an answer and also an oracle card for inspiration. And that will just be a nice, fun, little inspiring thing for the week. And then also on either Fridays or Saturdays, I will post another video that is focused on self-love, self-care, and self-worth. So some of it might be advice, much like this current video, and some of it will be chronicling my own self-love journey. So that hopefully you will be able to see that I am still heavily working on my personal relationship with myself and, you know, trying to grow my self-love. And I'm hoping that not only will it be an encouragement to someone else out there, but hopefully it will help someone that may just be starting or somebody else who is well into their journey but might be struggling. So I hope you will stick around for that. And so if you don't want to miss any of that, please hit that subscribe button and hit that notification bell. And I really, truly hope that this video finds you exactly when you need it. All right, take care.